do today, if you've still got all this potential to give, why would you not be thinking about that on your journey? You would not be in this room if you did not have super strength. None of you would be. You get hung up over the odd one or two things that you can't do. Spend too much time worrying about the things that went wrong rather than all the things that have gone right. But you work on super strength all the time because that's probably what got you in the room. That does not mean to say you don't look at the things that are holding you back. You work on one weakness at a time. It's the first thing I look for when I look at anybody I work with. Do you come alive when you talk about what you're doing on your journey through life? Because if you don't come alive, you're on the wrong journey. If I come to you now and I isolate all of you, and I say, what's the Super North Star at Polypipe? What's the Super North Star? Do you think you'll say the same thing? As a table, discuss how clear is the Super North Star? Wherever there's a bit of difficulty, there's always an opportunity. It does not mean there's not adversity within your organisation. It's about where you overcome it. The best targets are scary. So if none of you are scared in this room, you're all thinking, I've got a double of a job. That's the target's not high enough. My journey started over here as a small child. I wanted to be an athlete. Could never quite get good at one sport, so I decided I'd be a PE teacher, then go in the military. I wanted to join the parachute regiment at 17 and the Special Air Service at 22. I can't even begin to tell you how many people told me that that would not happen, or indeed the obstacles that were put in my way. I wasn't the strongest or the fittest or the most experienced on that course, but I was selected on potential, and then I spent 23 years in the Special Air Service. Studied law and psychology, came out into business. I want you to think about your Super North Star. I want you to think about it as a group now. If you were looking at where this organisation needed to be, or indeed your own department, what are the 3 to 4 things you could look at and go, if we were visualising this, success in the future, this is what it definitely needs to look like. How often do you look at the facts, the figures, the detail? You use wisdom, common sense and judgment. You make sure that plan is creative, innovative. You've looked at contingencies, and more importantly, everybody that has to deliver that plan understands their part. First thing that I do on day one is I'm not even interested in selling you anything at all. Because what I need to get to is empathy, rapport. Without rapport, nothing happens. What are the values of Polypipe? I come to you now and say, give me the values. I take it, I can come to anybody in the room and you're going to be able to tell me what the values are and give me an understanding of what's underpinning that. Would that be correct? If that's not correct, I'm sure it is correct, then I would want to know why. Because if you don't know them, they're not in action. And what I mean by trust is you trust each other on a fundamental emotional level. You are comfortable talking about your weaknesses, your mistakes, your fears and your behaviours. Get to a point where you're completely open without filters. Because I want commitment. When we agree to do something though, this is one thing I would say to you if you were my team, this is non-negotiable. When you've agreed to do something in this room, you walk out those doors and you deliver on what you said you're going to do. Doesn't mean it's going to be correct, because we might have to adjust it, but what you said you're going to do, you do. You do not go into corridors and dismantle the plan. That will never work. It's all been horribly wrong. We're not going to do that. Because I'd be really clear to you, that would be a non-negotiable to me. And if I heard it, we'd definitely be having a conversation. You definitely would not enjoy that conversation. Because nothing will ever be successful if you dismantle plans in corridors. Now don't get hung up by the word accountability, because all we're asking everybody to do is what you said you were going to do. Those of you that say, well actually Floyd, I can drink 20 pints and I get some sleep, the problem is you're sedated. How mentally resilient are you, do you think? Isn't it interesting? Everything you do today, every single thing you do today, starts with a file opening or closing inside your head. How you speak to yourself affects how you feel, thus affecting your performance. Because what I want to do is just perform as well as I can. On my worst day, I just want to be difficult to beat. But I do that because that's my self-talk. What do you think our biggest fear is? Fear of what? Failure. I work with 5-year-old children, toughest soldiers in the world in every business sector. It's the first word that's used. You're going to make mistakes. Those are just learning curves, not failure. They're learning curves. Because you're not perfect. Those people don't exist. Super North Star, great strategy, great ethos, great warrior spirit. If you can articulate it as a team, and and an organisation, you will be different to me, definitely. Thank you very much indeed.